Hello, welcome to another Wing Chun episode. Today we're going to be talking about three main elements as to how to approach the wooden dummy training. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, liking this video. If you are a standard viewer, we welcome you back. Let's get down to our video. Okay, so if you are new to a wooden dummy, I would highly encourage you to consider these three concepts. So we're going to be talking about sticking with the wooden dummy, as well as controlling the wooden dummy. And this, by extension, applies to an opponent or a sparring partner that you're training with. So controlling and sticking. This could be 2 points, but for the sake of simplicity of this video, we're going to kind of merge it in one. Okay, now we're going to be talking also about regaining the center line, which is extremely important. Anytime we get out of a line, out of the line of the opponent, we need to regain back the center line and attack back. Center line determines how you're going to be manipulating your opponent and how you're going to be effectively controlling him and, after all, beat him. Our third main point is also going to be those 2 points merged in one. We're talking about clearing the lines and redirecting the energy. Okay, let's start with the first concept, which is sticking controlling. Okay, so in a wooden dummy form, I tend to just go, which is fine. You can go about it a regular way, but once you start getting more proficient with these wooden dummy techniques, you just don't want to stay at the basic level. If the wooden dummy, as many say, is your second sifu, when you don't have a sparring partner, you got to consider these energies that are coming into you. Otherwise, you just adjust into a static dummy. But if you're considering energies and angling coming at you, considering using your imagination and considering this wooden dummy as your opponent and kind of envisioning the energies, the force that's coming into you, that kind of changes the game for you. Okay, so if I'm talking about, for example, if we are playing the first section here, okay, so for me, in order to control this dummy, I gotta envision that this is a live person coming into me. So you will see my techniques adjusting a little bit. So here, okay, so for example, this is kind of like a parry here. This is my well, it can be a jump sao energy, but traditionally is this man sao. Here, here, here. So what I'm thinking is possibly a grappling situation where an opponent is coming at me, so I am kind of driving this into his arm here, and with this one controlling the second arm from the inside, going into a palm strike, while all the time having contacts with the arm. So you can see here a little bit of a jump sao energy when I'm going to this, all the time touching the dummy. So I'm going here into the strike, going into a neck grab, and then controlling all the time, maintaining contact with the arms, almost as if this were alive. So sticking with it, knowing where the energy is coming, thinking about, not necessarily now in the first section, but we're thinking about how this dummy, particularly in the third section, this is magnified, this dummy is kind of in a grappling situation with me. So how can I control him? How can I move him out of position while all the time maintaining contact? If you notice, I'm not just detaching myself from here. I'm all the time sticking. I'm moving my hips and controlling this dummy, right? The energy is always sent into the dummy. If I want to send him away, then I'm going to use this type of energy, right? and then attack back, right? So traditionally, yes, this section is done to where you are trying to kind of control this dummy by disrupting the balance, but you can do it more than that. Now you can think that he's shooting into you, so keep your elbows stacked in, right? But if you want to send him this way, if you want to break the structures, you can even see how I move the dummy this way because of the force. So what I'm doing here is I am using my jump sound energy to go into the dummy, and I'm using my cow saw here to magnify this impact upon it, and all the while I'm imagining force coming into me. So I'm using the force of the opponent that's going at me to redirect them that way and control him with this hand and to send him this way. Well, we're going to leave the second point for we're going to make a third point, regaining the center line. But now I want to focus on the on that energy and clearing the line. So kind of I touch upon it a little bit on the first point. So if I have an opponent in front of me, in this case the dummy, and I'm thinking I'm doing all these techniques, right? The second form, you can see a lot of that here too. You can see a lot of that here. So we're clearing the lines. And we do these movements sometimes without paying too much mind to it. When we do these movements beside the angling, we got to understand the distance, and we got to understand the opponent's force coming into us. So we don't want to be here because now the opponent is hitting me. We want to make sure that this line is clear, yet at the same time my angle has got to be optimal to disrupt the balance of my opponent. In this case, I'm thinking if this is ideally, so since this dummy can't move, if you are here, straight punch into you, you would move just enough to clear the line. And it doesn't have to be all the way to the shoulder. If you just pack it to your center, this is going to move outside your gate because the body are going to be turning. So maybe a better way to do for the beginners is just stand in front of that arm and just do it like this. In the form we have it like this, so it kind of seem like we violate principles, but it's just due to the structure dimensions and dimensions of the wooden dummy. So clear the line. So for example here, I'm clearing the line enough so I can attack. Now, even in this third section that I showed you before, here, here, and here, I'm clearing the line. Here, here, here. I'm clearing the line enough to where I'm sending my opponent this way, right? So 1, 2. You can keep it. You can keep your elbows in if you want. Close control, right? Or you can have this opening of the elbow, but I'm not at any moment in peril here for some kind of a underhook or anything like that because my hand is controlling this arm here. If you want to stay real close, you can do it. Two different concepts. Finally, coming back to the center line. So the center line doesn't necessarily mean coming back to the center of the dummy. So if I'm out of position, for example here, now I am not facing the center line of the dummy, but if I turn here, this is the center of the dummy. So I'm coming back from this position that I have been thrown at by my opponent, and I'm trying ways to come back into the dummy. It can be this way. See, so if I'm here and I want to go to the other side, okay, I can go this way. Or if I'm here, I go this way. So here, 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 I'm here, for example. Okay, so now they are gaining my center, but I move them, and now I'm regaining center by reassuming a new center line where my opponent is weak, which would be on this side. So it's not just angling, it's redefining the center line so you can uproot your opponent. Okay, so now when you flow in it, you got to be thinking about these different elements, and you do need to know these principles behind in order to be able to flow. So for example, if I'm going to be doing this now with more sticky energy here, okay, so I'm not detaching at all time. I'm thinking about my lines, I'm thinking about control. So even though I'm doing a fac saw, it has a little bit of jump saw energy, my angling is enough to throw them offline, so I'm clearing my lines here. I'm clearing my lines here, regaining the center line, controlling, regaining the center line, clearing my lines. Okay, same thing. For example, if we take randomly section 4 here. Okay, so here I'm clearing my line, I'm controlling. It's important that this foot saw is not collapsed or anything like that. It's still going into your, with the forward energy into your opponent, and you are on the side to where you have this. I don't lay it just on it without any energy. I'm applying a little bit of that hewn cell energy, so if they do attempt to shoot at me, I can just turn them this way. So clearing the line, coming back to center line, okay, controlling. So this is where you could start using those snaky movements. They are not necessarily in the form, but you can kind of imagine that this opponent is throwing random punches at you, and you gotta be sticking. See, like my tanso has not changed to where I'm deeper, and I'm imagining this energy going out this way, pushing me. So my tanso is kind of going this way and regaining that momentum by the springy energy, right? The power is going this way, pushing me this way. Upon a loss of contact, I am utilizing my own momentum to go back at it. Here I'm sticking. Here you can do this manso, bongso kind of, and then transition into kwanso, right? While you are at this time controlling the lower arm with the bongso, so it's kind of like that kwanso shape here. Here you can do the same, right? So you're clearing the lines, you're controlling the wooden dummy while all the time trying to regain the center line. Okay, I hope this wasn't too abstract or complicated. Hope you can pick up a few ideas from this video and apply it in your own training. Take care, have a good day, please subscribe, like this video, and see you next time.